In order to help with week 5, I thought I would make a recording, a video that models the different types of equations you're asked to graph and identify and transform. So the first one I'm going to look at is a linear equation. So I have an example of a linear equation up here at the top, which is y equals 2/3 x minus 2. This is similar to problems, I believe it's about 2 through 10, 2 through 12. So one of the things you're asked to do is to graph the function. In order to graph the function, you need to first find some ordered pairs that are on the function. So I'm going to pick some random values for x and put them in the x column here and then calculate their corresponding y values. Now you might wonder why I counted by threes and went -3, 0, 3, and 6. I did that because the slope, the number m in front of the x, was 2/3. And so by picking multiples of 3, when I substitute them in here, I'm going to be able to get solutions that are whole numbers. 2/3 times -3 is -2, minus 2 would be -4. 2/3 times 0 minus 2 would end up being 0 minus 2, or -2. 2/3 times 3 minus 2 would end up being 2 minus 2, or 0. And 2/3 times 6 minus 2 would be 4 minus 2, or 2. I'm now going to graph, let's change the color, I'm now going to graph each one of these. So I'm going to graph -3, -4, then I'm going to graph 0, -2, then I'm going to graph 3, 0, and then I'm going to graph 6, 2. Now I made X's because if I make dots my program doesn't work right. I'm going to draw the line through those points, and there's my graph. Some interesting points to note. This point right here is your y-intercept because it's where it crosses the y-axis. This point right here is your x-intercept because it's where it crosses the x-axis. If I were to describe the general shape, it's a line. The question becomes, is it a function? Well, it's a function if it passes the vertical line test. And the vertical line test says if I can draw a vertical line through the function or through the graph and it only intersects it in one point, each time you draw a vertical line, then the graph is a function. So its general shape is a line, and is it a function? Yes, it is. Now, when we talk about the domain and range, let me get rid of some of these purple lines here. When we talk about the domain and range, we're interested in what values we can put in for x and what corresponding values we put in for y. Well, when you look at the graph, what you're really interested in is what happens as you travel from left to right on the graph, and what happens as you travel from the bottom to the top. When we're talking about domain, as I go from left to right, no matter where I go on this x-axis, I can either go down and eventually hit a point on the graph, or I can go up and eventually hit a point on the graph. When this happens, your domain is all real numbers, and in interval notation we'd go from -infinity to infinity. Your range is from bottom to top. I can go left and eventually hit a point on the graph, or I can go right and eventually hit a point on the graph. So again, for a line, your domain is all real numbers, and we would express that as -infinity to infinity. One of the things they asked you to do, and I don't have my computer open in front of me, but they said move the graph something like 2 units left and down 3. Well, when you move the graph left, what you end up doing is you replace x with x plus 2. When you move the graph right, you're going to replace x with x minus 2, this being the two spaces. When you move the graph up, you're going to go, and whatever your original function is, you're going to add the amount you want to move it up to the back, and when you move it down, you're going to subtract the amount you want to move it down to the back. So I'm taking my original graph, which is y equals 2/3 x minus 2. If I want to move it 2 units left, wherever I see an x, I put in x plus 2. So it would be y equals 2/3 x plus 2. I'm replacing this x with this quantity. Then instead of minus, I have minus 2 then, right here, minus 2 still part of the graph. And now if I want to go down 3, I put another minus 3 behind that. So when all is said and done, I have y equals 2/3 x plus 4/3 minus 5. I got y equals 2/3 x minus 11/3.